Hi guys, welcome back, or if this is your first time, welcome to my channel. My name is Kem and you're in Kamaya. So today's video is just a quick one about setting your intentions, about beginning your journey. So whether it's your self-love journey, your personal development journey, this is about getting clear foundations and setting intentions for that journey. So a good question for me to ask right now is the old you standing in the way of the new you, or the you that you want to step into, you know, your fullest self, your truest self? That's the version of you that we really want to activate, that we want to get into the flow of, you know. And so a lot of people come and ask me questions like, Kem, how did you start your journey? What kind of books, tools, tips, all of those kinds of things. What did you implement to start your journey? And I get a lot of those questions, and so I really wanted to share with you something that I think is important for the foundations. So, first of all, I'd say to reflect on your last month. So your last month is going to give you a real current view of how things are going for you. So when you look back over your last month, start from today and go backwards. And if you can go backwards day by day, you'll get a real kind of in-depth view. But also, when you go backwards like that, it allows you to release things as well that have been going on. So while you're looking backwards over your last month, while you're reflecting over your last month, have yourself a journal, pen or paper, and just jot some stuff down. If there's anything that has charge around it, you know, there's things that still a bit stormy for you, or things that your mind just keeps wandering back to, or things you wanted to do that you left unfinished, you know, anything like that, just jot that down. Anything else that stands out to you, write it down, and then just take a few minutes to do that process. You can even put a timer on. I think this is a great practice. Put like a 2 or 3 minute timer on your phone or whatever, and just sit and reflect, and try to do this without looking at any calendars or anything like that. You really want to go by how you're feeling about the last month to get that kind of gauge, because it's easy for you to go back and know what you were doing. You want to see how you feel about the last month. Anyway, this is the second point really, is to reflect on the last 8 years. So again, have a separate piece of paper, another page in your journal. And I just want you to really not over the last 8 years, but look at where you were 8 years ago. So see, okay, what life-changing decisions did you make back then? What big moves do you make? What type of person were you? How was your relationship to yourself back then? These kinds of questions, this is what you really want to be asking yourself. And it should start to bring some things up to the surface. And you're like, oh, wow, I made this massive decision then. And even though it served its purpose, it changed my life. And as well as some positive things potentially happening, also some negative things happened, or some wounds were created. And when you reflect, you start to look at the things that, whoa, that was created 8 years ago, and that needs healing now. And this is the time, if it's coming up again, this is the time, it's another opportunity for you to heal this. So when we're talking about this kind of internal work, this is what's really setting the ground, the foundation for your self-love journey, personal development journey, whatever it is. Having this reflection, clearing this stuff out, this is what's going to give you those solid foundations. So, quick example, don't want to make this too long, but a quick example for me, 8 years ago, I moved from Ghana back to the UK, and it was a step that I had to take for my own development, for my mental health and well-being. You know, a myriad of different reasons why I made that step. Anyway, I went up to Birmingham, and for me it was what I realized in looking back is that, one, at that time I was seeking validation externally, you know, my self-worth back then, how I felt validated back then, everything was very, very external. And So that was something really kind of major for me to know and reflect on the change between that. Secondly, in moving in the way that I did, I created isolation. So it was really necessary for me to make that move, to take that leap. But at the same time, what I've noticed is there's a trend that's continued, is that every time I really want to develop myself or take the next step, I seem to like fly across the world or something like that, right? So this is something that I've been like, oh, I don't actually need to create that much space, isolation, distance, whatever it is, in order for me to grow. Like, I can grow around people, or I can set my boundaries and, you know, have what I need at that time whilst taking my time for growth. So when we're looking back through the last 8 years, you want to see the things that you want to release. You want to see the things that you want to heal. And you also want to look at the things that you want to reignite. There may be passions. Like right now, this is that time where we look at our creative elements, our, you know, anything that we're passionate about. And these are the things that sometimes they get pushed away, they get, you know, knocked out of the forefront of our minds for whatever reason. There could have been something that you wanted to start 8 years ago and you didn't, or something that, you know, kind of didn't get so much of your attention over this time that you may have wanted it to. And so you may be being drawn back to things that need reigniting. Like for me, 8 years ago is when I made a very conscious, deliberate, and a bit of a radical decision at the time to move away from sciences. I had a science background of biochemistry, physics and all of that, and step into the artistic space. So that was a big move for me, created some wounds, also, you know, something that I need to reignite more now as well. So it's a great time for that reflection. So you want to look back over your 8 years and again, take a few minutes with your timer, your journal, whatever it is, and let those things come back up to the surface. And so when you finish that, step 3 is kind of in 3 parts in itself. From that, from your 8-year reflection, you want to, again, you want to pick out, you want to make a list of heal, release or let go, reignite, right? So there are things that you're going to want to keep, there are things that you're going to want to release, and there are things that you're going to need to heal in order for you to move on and to not be creating the same patterns. And again, I say, this is what's really going to give you a solid foundation for that next leg of your journey, you know, for starting that self-love journey, for starting that personal development journey in any capacity. Having that reflection, knowing what you want to keep, heal and release, and also reignite, that is what's going to give you a solid platform. So make those 3 lists and then just take a minute to mull over it. Okay, this is what's happened, this is how things have gone. You're going to just want to take a few minutes to meditate or to clear your mind, to just release. You can, you know, for me, something I find symbolism really effective for me. And so my old papers, I would like tear it out of my journal or have a copy of it somewhere and then burn it. And I used to drop the ashes or drop the paper itself into like a calabash bowl with charcoal and salt. And that's what I did in the ceremony I held the other day. So it's just really symbolic for you to be like, yeah, you're burning that away. It's from the other chapter. And so just, you know, you can cleanse with like some sage or Palo Santo or just clear your mind. You know, whatever works for you, whatever's going to let you know, okay, that's gone, clear, new beginning. That is what you want to do, okay? So what works for me might not work for you, but make it work. And so after you've taken a few minutes for yourself, get yourself a new page, new sheet of paper, whatever you're working with, and then you want to start plotting your trajectory. So you want to start popping some coordinates. You know, what kind of habits do you want to pick up? When you looked at that list, what things need healing? Okay, so put in some trajectory, some coordinates. Okay, I'm going to work on healing this at this time, or put that healing in your new phase of your life. Put it in there. Also put like any habits that you want to pick up, any behaviors, characteristics, traits, like the you that you really want to embody, the you that you really know that you are at the heart of all of it. Put those traits down. Like, what does that person look like? What do they do on a daily basis? How do they organize their time? These kinds of things, you want to write them down. And so you're going to get really clear so say if you're doing this for the next month, you're going to get really clear, okay, so I'm going to be waking up 15 minutes earlier every day, or I'm going to be adding meditation or yoga or an exercise, whatever it is that you want to add in each area of your life that you want to change. And include time for your reading, your research, your exploration, all of these things that you want to achieve in the next month or however long you're doing it for. Write them down on paper. And I like to say that this is not something that's set in stone. This is not something that's like it's a rigid straight line, you can't wander off it. It's not that. So this is like a flight path, a guideline. And so say like if you're in a plane and this plane cannot continue on this flight path because, I don't know, there's a massive storm coming, or like there's another plane too close by, you best believe the pilot is going to reroute. And so that is what you have the power, the capability, the freedom to do as well. But these points, these are really for you to begin moving into alignment with the person you really know that you really are, underneath all of that stuff, underneath all of everything, or through everything, as well as everything else. You are your greatest version already. It's just about clearing the weeds, turning the soil, and allowing yourself to be that person. And so this is the solid foundation. This is the practice that I do monthly, and sometimes more often if need be, but you can do like a big one of these every 6 months and recalculate where it is that you want to go. And it's a really helpful tool to see what your progress is, to see how you're doing. Are you living to your own values? Are you living to your own standards? Are you living a life that you enjoy, right? And so if no, then you look back over your thing and say, okay, well, maybe this is not working out, maybe this is, and then each month you can shift things around, change things, and that's it. Like, this is really going to help you on that journey. So I'm going to pop a few links to some freebies, like some morning ritual stuff, that kind of thing, that are really helpful when you're starting this journey. I'm going to pop them down below, and they're free downloadable, like PDFs, ebook style stuff for you to have a look at. And yeah, let me know what you're going to try. Let me know if you sit and do this process and what you find, what comes up for you. And also, like, guys, if things are surfacing for you and you're like, oh crap, like I said I wanted to be happy, I said I wanted this to happen, just know that when you choose your highest self, when you choose to be your best self, then anything that's not in alignment with that is going to come up for you to heal, release, let go of, to clear out, and because it's like if you have a closet that's way too full with old clothes and you're like, I want to look my best, I want it to be easy to pick out clothes to wear in the morning so I can just step out and look the way I want to, then you need to get rid of all the crap old stuff that you don't want to wear anymore. And that's exactly what this does, the reflection, but also this time that we're in right now, in terms of like the astrology right now. It's a time where things are just going to be coming up for you to look at. So don't be discouraged, take heart, and know that this is for you. And so take yourself through this process and grow through this process, and know that you create your own launch pad, right? So this is your foundation, and now you go out and start to be who you truly want to be, and reflect on this each month so that you know that you're continuing down that path. Anyway guys, let me know what's going on for you, and I'll see you in the next video.